Okay, boys, as promised, I will do the solutions here for you for that question B, which we were asked to do the final accounts for Vega Ltd. Okay, so let's just have a look down to the trial balance first of all and identify where these figures and items should go. Okay, from the very top there, as you can see, sales and purchases, opening stock, okay, custom duty. At the very bottom of the question, you also have stock at the end of the year, which is your closing stock. Those figures are needed for your first part of your income statement, which is your trading account. Underneath custom duties, then you've got carriage outwards, insurance, rent, wages, and advertising. Okay, they will go into your profit and loss section of your income statement, which are less than your expenses. Then underneath that, then you've got dividends paid, which go to the very end of your income statement in an account called your appropriation account. Okay, and then the rest of your items there, premises, machinery, vehicles, debtors are all. So if premises, machinery, vehicles are your fixed assets, so something that you own for more than a year. Debtors, okay, and cash is a current asset, so you own them for less than a year. And then your creditors and bank overdraft are something that is owed, so you owe it. Okay, so you owe money to creditors and you owe money to the bank because it's a bank overdraft. So they would be current liabilities or less creditors falling due within a year. At the very end, then you've got issued share capital, and your issued share capital goes into your finance by section in your statement of financial position. The old term for it was the balance sheet. Okay, so let's get cracking at this, boys. If you have any questions or don't understand something, please don't hesitate to drop me a message on the Edmodo or email my school account. Okay, so let's get cracking. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to put in here, lads, in the trading account is your sales. Okay, into the last column, because there is no work is required, is 178,000. So next thing we need to do then is lesser cost of sales. Okay, the first cost of sale that you'll always have, lads, is opening stock. Okay, and your opening stock there, lads, is 14,000. Okay, your next cost of sale is always purchases. And the purchase in this question here is 62,000. Okay, now on the previous question, lads, we had carriage inwards. There's no carriage inwards in this question. Carriage outwards is there, all right, but that is not a cost of sale. That will go into your expense in your P&L section of this income statement. Okay, but what we do have is custom duties, and that is seen as a cost of sale. It can be sometimes written as import duties, same thing. Okay, and that is 2,000 euro. Adding those three figures together, okay, and you get 78,000. Okay, now the next thing you need to do then is less your closing stock from that figure. Okay, reason being you've stock left over, which means it hasn't been sold, therefore cannot be considered a cost of sale. And if you see at the very bottom of the trial balance there, outside of the trial balance, you've got stock at the end of the year, which is worth 6,500. So you take that figure away from 78,000 and you get 71,500. That's 71,500 are the costs of the goods actually sold. So 71,500, take away from your sales figure, you get 106,500. Okay, and that figure there, gents, is known as your gross profit. Gross, obviously, means before deductions. Okay, in this question here, again, lads, we can see that there's no gains. Okay, and I doubt very much that there will be in your junior cert any gains. And the way to recognize if there's gains, it will usually say something receivable. So the word receivable beside the item. So in this question here, lads, you can see there's nothing receivable. So we can move directly on to less our expenses. Okay, and as pointed out at the beginning of the question, okay, carriage outwards, insurance, rent, wages, and advertising are expenses. Now, there's something to be wary of here. These expenses can be divided up into two categories. Okay, I don't think you need to worry about them for the junior cert, as I don't think you get marks for separating them up. But as I'm teaching here, it's worth noting, so I will mention them to you. Your types of expenses can be broken up into two. You can have administration. Okay, in short, you can just leave it as admin. But for the purpose today, I'll write administration. Okay, so you've got administration costs. Administration costs basically mean that they have no direct association with sales. Okay, so looking down to this question here, okay, carriage outwards, well, that is delivering the products. So that's directly associated with selling. Okay, so therefore wouldn't be considered admin cost. The next one down would be insurance. Okay, well, insurance would be an admin. You need insurance for all aspects of the business, so it's not just directly related to selling, therefore it would be considered an admin expense. So insurance is €6,000. You've rent, again, would be an admin, okay, because you need rent for all aspects of the premises, okay, at €7,000, not just directly for selling. You've wages, okay, yes, you may have a selling staff, okay, but you also have people employed by the company in different roles that aren't directly associated with selling. So it can be considered an admin expense. So it's 39,000. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's those admin expenses taken care of as we're moving down into the balance sheet then after dividends paid. All right, so we add those three figures together, okay, and we get €52,000. Okay, the only other heading then that you have in expenses, lads, is a selling and distribution expense. So selling and distribution. Okay, and what it says in the title basically means anything that's directly associated with selling or distributing the product. So if you go back up here, you can see the first one you're going to put in is carriage outwards. Carriage is a business term for transportation, and carriage outwards would be to deliver your sales. So that is directly associated with selling. So your carriage outwards there is €4,000. All right. Advertising, okay, is directly associated with selling as you are employing an advertising firm, okay, or putting money towards advertising to try and persuade people to buy your product or trying to encourage sales. So it can be considered directly associated with selling. So you're advertising 12,000. One that many people would forget is your depreciation is also an expense. In this case here, okay, your depreciation can be kept separate from admin and selling distribution. So we have depreciation on, well, let's keep them separate. 4 and 12 is 16,000. Okay, then you have depreciation on machinery. Okay, depreciation rate is 10%. You go back up to the trial balance, lads. You look for machinery. You can see there there's a cost of 50,000. Okay, and you will get 10% of 50,000, which is 5,000. All right. Adding those three figures together, lads, you get your total expenses to be 73,000. You take your total expenses away from your gross profit, okay, and you will get 33,500. Okay, and that there, lads, is your net profit. That's as hard as it will get, I believe. Okay, there's only a couple more lines here, 2 to be precise, to finish this off. The last thing we need to do is less our dividends. As explained the last day, our dividend, okay, is a percentage of the profits given to your shareholders, the owners of the company. This question here, they give the dividends was paid of 24,000. That comes out of your profits, which is your net profit. So 33,500 minus 24,000 leaves us with 9,500. Okay, and that there, lad, is known as your reserves. Okay, at the end of the year. All right, so that's your income statement complete. So next one, move on to, lads, is your statement of financial position. Just give me a sec there now, lads, and I set this up for you. Okay. So, as we discussed previously, okay, we need to know our headings. And the first heading you have here, lads, is your fixed assets. Okay, now let's look at our fixed assets. Okay, items that the company owns for more than a year. Okay, they've been nice to you here and they've kept them nice and together here in the trial balance. So you've got premises. Okay, machinery and vehicles. Okay, now don't forget your headings in here: cost, depreciation, and in short, NBV, standing for net book value. Okay, so your premises is 152,000. They were not depreciated, therefore your net book value remains at 152,000. Your machinery, 50,000. These were depreciated by 5,000, which brings you down to 45,000 for your net book value. Okay, your vehicles of 38,000. There was no depreciation on your vehicles, so they remained at 38,000. Okay, we close the first two off, as those figures are no longer required. Okay, so that's 240,000. Depreciation is 5,000, giving you 235,000 for your total fixed assets. Okay, the next heading is your current assets. So items that the company own for less than a year. Okay, in this question here then it's your debtors, okay, and cash. The cash you have sitting in the bank. Okay, and also don't forget your closing stock. Okay, put an asterisk beside that because students often forget that. Okay, so your debtors is 45,000. Okay, your cash is 9,000. And your closing stock is 6,500. Add those three figures together and you get 60,500. Now, our next heading is less creditors. Okay, falling due less than 1 year. Okay, so in this question here, we've got two of them. First one you have there is creditors. Okay, and your creditors there is 14,000. The next one you have is bank overdraft. Okay, and your bank overdraft is 12,000. Add those two figures together, you get 26,000. Okay, we take our creditors, as it says less, away from our current assets. Okay, and we get 34,500. Okay, that figure there, lads, is known as your, and I put in a different colour, very important, is your working capital. Okay, because it's a positive figure, we add it on. Okay, so just there's your total fixed assets, and this is our working capital. Because it's positive, we add, okay, those two together. So adding those two together, lads, you will get 269,500. Okay, actually, no, we can close that off. And that figure, okay, is known as your total net assets. Okay, on to the last section, finance by. Okay, the first thing you have in finance by, alright, is your share capital. Okay, and as I said, make sure you have your authorized and your issued. Your authorized is given to you at the top of the question there, which is 400,000. And your issued is given to you in the last line, the 12 branch was 260,000. Okay, and then we take into account our reserves, our closing reserves. Okay, if we go up, you can see there your closing reserves is 9,500. Okay, so add that into your issued. Add those two together, you get 269,500, which is fantastic because these two figures are the same, gents. Okay, these figures here. That means your balance sheet has balance, or as they call it now, your statement of financial position is balanced. And that figure there, lads, is known as your capital employed. Again, very important to name it. Okay, boys. There are the solutions there to question B, which you had for homework, Vega Limited. So I'd like for you to do now for homework, boys, and to have it done for Friday. Okay, is question C there on Omega Limited. So I'd like for you to do the two accounts of your income statement, your statement of financial position. Again, lads, any issues, any problems, any questions, message me here on Edmodo, okay, or email my school account. Right, lads, thank you.